So in the previous video, we started looking at coercion, and we said it's a process of converting a value from one data type to another. So in this video, we're going to look at two types of coercion. So the different ways we coerce values in JavaScript. So we have explicit coercion and we have implicit coercion. So explicit coercion is when you intentionally convert a value from one data type to another using functions or operators. For example, using the number function to convert a string to a number. So in this case, we have this as a string, and this is how this is converted to a number. So there are times where you have to explicitly convert a data into a particular data type. Like in our previous example, we had this age as a string, and in order to have it as a number, we use this function. So this conversion, in order to convert values from one data type to another, we make use of functions or operators. There are times you make use of a function, there are times you make use of an operator, right? So in this case, we are making use of a function. So this is a function, and we call this function pass int, and then we pass in the value of the data we want to convert into an integer. So once you pass this data, it's going to return the integer representation or value of this data, right? So it's going to convert this to an integer and it will return the result, and the result is what we get added to this. So this is explicit coercion. So we are intentionally converting this value here to an integer, and in this case they are using this number. So we say number and then we pass in the value we want to convert. So this is fine as well. So the second type is implicit coercion. So implicit coercion is when JavaScript automatically converts a value from one data type to another. You remember that when we had something like this, right? Let me clear this console. Okay, so we have 101. When we have something like this, now we have two values here. We have age is a string, and this is a number. Now these two are in two different data types. These two values are in two different data types. This is a string and this is a number. So for JavaScript to perform this operation, since this is a string, it's going to convert this into a string as well, and then combine the two and give the result, which is 101. So in this case, we are not the ones converting this one into a string. JavaScript is doing that under hood to give us this value, right? So this is implicit coercion. So this usually happens when you use an operator or a function that expects a different data type than the one you provide. So if you're using this operator in this case, now this is expecting that since we have age here, all the values you provide should be, since you have age as a string, all the values you provide should be strings as well. But if you provide a number, like in this case, then it's going to convert those numbers to strings and perform the operation. So like in this case, if I say plus, let's say plus 20. Now 20 is a number and we have strings here. So to complete this operation, JavaScript is going to combine this to a string and then combine it with this other string. So if we run this, we have hello world 20 like that. Okay, so that's what makes it possible for JavaScript to add this. In other programming languages, if you try to do something like this, you get an error because this is a different data type and this is a different data type, so you cannot add that together. So it will tell you cannot add strings to maybe integer or something like that. But JavaScript behaves differently. So what JavaScript will do is it will convert this into a string and perform the operation. So that's what implicit coercion means. When the system does the conversion based on the values that were provided to. If at a point the system or your code is expecting a particular value or a value in a particular data type and a different data type is provided, then the value will have to be converted to the data type that is needed to perform that operation. So that's implicit coercion. So this explains what we just did. So another example, we have this. So const hello and we have number, and in this case is similar to what we did in the other side. So we have hello 42. So in this case, JavaScript implicitly converts the number to a string and then concatenates the two strings. Implicit coercion can also happen when you use a value in a Boolean context, such as a conditional statement. Okay, so we are going to treat that in the next video. So this actually leads us to truthy and falsy values. So if we so this last statement says implicit coercion can also happen when you use a value in a Boolean context. So normally, if you have when you are writing if statement, you are supposed to provide, let's say, something like this. Now this is a condition and we say conditions must evaluate towards true or false. Now if we say if age, what happens? Because age is in this case 10. Age is in this case 10. So if I say if age, now age is not a Boolean value, but our condition must either be true or false, must be a Boolean value. We can't have a condition in any other data type. So in this case, what JavaScript does is it converts this into a Boolean value and then performs the operation. So this is also an example of implicit coercion. So we're going to look more into this in our next video. So this falls under truthy and falsy values. So I will be treating this more in the next video. So that's it for this video. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.